Antoine Lavoisier by Miguel Castellanos. So for basic information, I wrote that he was born August 26, 1743 in Paris, France. He died May 8th, 1794, also in Paris, France. He didn't die of natural causes. He was executed. He was executed by guillotine during the French Revolution's reign of terror. He was actually charged and executed for many reasons, but one of the main reasons was because he had shares in a company called General Farm, and what that company did was that it collected taxes for the government, which makes sense. When he was executed, he was killed with his father-in-law and 26 other General Farm members. He was also charged for selling adulterated tobacco. For some of his family life, he was an only child of a wealthy bourgeoisie family, and he got a law degree because of family pressure, but he always had a love for sciences, and that's what he pursued. His life as a chemist, we know that Lavoisier lived a very accomplished life in the science world, but I just wrote down some of his accomplishments. So he established the law of conservation of mass, which is actually really important. He also determined combustion and respiration was caused by chemical reactions, and he named oxygen in 1778 and hydrogen as well in 1783. And because of his many accomplishments, he is now known as one of the fathers of chemistry, along with Boyle and Dmitri Mendeleev. And he also created one of the first versions of the periodic table, and this would eventually revolutionize nomenclature. So I thought that this presentation would just be really boring if I just talked the whole time, so I decided to add some fun facts. So at the age of 11, Lavoisier was enrolled at the University of Paris, which is where he got his law degree. And a century after his death, he was formally buried at Les Catacombes in Paris. The reason why he was buried a century later was because they realized he was falsely executed, and they wanted to give him the respect he deserved. So they gave him like a public monument. He also married a 13-year-old girl named Marie Anne Perriette Paula. She was a daughter of a senior member at General Farms. Lavoisier also made a geological map of France, which was an important tool for the country's industrial development. And I want to talk about the experiment Lavoisier did to discover the law of conservation of mass in 1772. So what he did was he put a diamond in a glass jar, and he put a giant magnifying glass on it underneath the sun. So when the jar got really hot, the diamond ended up evaporating and changing forms. But the one thing that did not change was the mass of the jar, meaning that that mass can change shape, but its mass is still there forever, and it cannot be created or destroyed.